Previously on Deck of Many Aces.
If I were to visit the university here, the theoretical physics department might be able to assist us. If it is creatures coming from different planes of reality, then it really shouldn't be happening like this.
I'd like to write one letter to my uncle and one letter to my father, just basically detailing what I saw in that vision before bed. The letter to my father is just kind of me being like, can you do some research? And the letter to my uncle is basically being like, you know, this doesn't seem to be particularly scary, but if it's a considered threat to the realm, it's my duty to inform you.
Lying on the bed is actually Oscar Sterling. That day when you and your brother went to explore that island, we all thought that you died. You being here doesn't make any sense. Raina, it's been 70 years. What happened to you? There is one name that keeps cropping up, Dr. Marius Delaware. Thank you so much for your letter and for your interest in Dr. Delaware's research. Dr. Delaware has recently been murdered. Welcome to Deck of Many Aces, an actual play podcast with actual asexuals. We are an actual play podcast playing 5th edition D&D with a twist. Every character's backstory, present and future is based on a card drawn from the Deck of Many Things. I am Ellie, and I use she, her pronouns, and I will be your DM today. Your demisexual manticore, because I watched Onward the other day, and I thought it was going to just be a funny, silly D&D romp, and I cried. It's very good.
Onward gets a lot of trash talk, but I really like it.
It was very, very good.
It's a Pixar film. What did you expect, Ellie?
I looked at the animation style, and I was like, it seems a little bit like it's going to be like the Cars of 2020.
Yeah.
How dare you?
No. I'm sorry.
Cars is trash. Like, it's awful.
I feel like we're starting on the discourse foot, which maybe not the best way to go. Everyone want to introduce themselves?
Hello, I am Am. I play Tosia Atherdale, a Loxodon Battlemaster Fighter party tank. We both use she, her pronouns, and Toz has had a pretty good time in Catgirl City just being a tourist.
Woo!
Hi there, I'm Chloe, and I play Raina Riftwood, a Tabaxi Bard. And we both use she, her pronouns, and Raina's not having a great time right now.
Aww.
Oh, yeah.
Raina's going through it.
She is, yeah. I think she probably will still be for a while. But yeah. She is a happy character, I promise. I tried to make her happy.
I'm sorry, that is absolute rubbish. You were like, I'm going to make a cute character. And then you sent me the backstory and I was like, Chloe, this is sad.
I was literally like, Ellie, I'm going to make a really positive character because I feel sad, so I want to make her really happy. And then I just gave her the saddest backstory.
If we get Raina to like talk about her feelings with the others, then she can start to
Heal.
be on the path to emotional recovery or whatever.
You made an alcoholic. Like,
Yeah, I was going to say, she was like immediately on the rum. And also like, to be fair, maybe this is a lesson to us all that if we're feeling sad, we don't have to force ourselves to be happy. We just gotta work through the sad. Ellie's playing therapist, I'll stop.
we just have to play an alcoholic who has awful...
She's not an alcoholic!
We got 2 more cast members to introduce, y'all. We don't have time to hug and learn.
We just have to play D&D to work through all our problems. That's
Exactly.
the first time we've ever done that. That never happens in life. Never. Never, ever.
I'm Eiriol, and I'm playing Delphi, who's a Bladelock warlock. Well, kind of a blade. They're changing some stuff because it didn't fit thematically.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a discussion. You're like going to be a bit of a A bit of a all over the place warlock, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's what warlocks are. I use she, they pronouns, and Delphi uses she, her pronouns.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Katie. I use she, her, or they, them pronouns. I will be playing Morgan, the tiefling wizard. I don't think there's anything else to say.
I don't think so. We're all a little bit... I think I was about to be like, it's so early in the morning.
It's
we're all
quarter to 11.
It's quarter to 11. We have zero excuses.
We're allowed to be tired.
Yeah. I haven't had a lie-in in a long time.
I haven't left the house in a week.
Oh, leave the house.
Ooh, please go on a walk.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the British way of solving everything. Let's go for a nice walk.
The alternative being not having left the house.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, we won't talk about these times, but, in these times.
Unprecedented times, perhaps.
Unprecedented times.
Okay, this is horrible audio, horrible ear noises.
I know,
for
I'm
everyone.
sorry. I literally, I saw the spikes for when I made all those noises, and I was like, those are very, very high. I'm gonna bring them down. I went on a walk with my friend last night, and we saw a busker, and he was quite far away from us, but he started playing guitar, and I felt like an indie film protagonist. It was so good.
Aww.
It was so nice.
That's because you are, babe.
It was great. I was
Did
like,
you have
wow.
change?
I didn't. We were okay. So when I say that, like, he was far away, he was like on the other side of a body of water.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't swim to get to him?
How dare you support your local artist? Swim through that lake.
Yeet some coins
You have
across.
the gall to open up an Acast donation point and don't swim across a river in the middle of the night.
This is sounding very creepy, actually, now you talk about it. Someone was playing guitar across a river in the middle of the night.
You need to build like a change launching cannon that can send change to somebody no matter how far away they are.
That sounds lethal.
I'm fairly certain that's a Professor Layton plot point.
Oh, that also is a gun, and it's... and you can't do that to
Welcome
someone.
to the podcast, a fun romp where we discuss maybe murdering people with coins.
Wait, was that how he was murdered? Was he shot with coins?
Guys, we gotta play D&D.
We've got to play
Yeah.
D&D.
Yes,
we do.
Yes, we do. So, what happened last time?
There was a murder.
There
A
was.
murder!
A murder. A very casually explained murder as well. It was...
Yeah, I was re-listening to the episode and I was like, because I had to duck out of the last recording of that bit, so that was the first time I heard it. And the letter was like, oh no, he got murdered, sorry.
We're terribly sorry to inconvenience you, but he has been murdered.
Am said to me, I think yesterday, you should include, as a trailer, you should include the fake out bit where you say, I don't have a cool, shocking twist ending. That was legitimately, I didn't have a shocking twist ending.
Did you forget you planned a murder?
No, it was just that, that wasn't when I was kind of gonna reveal it, and then I, flicked through my notes, and I was like, in for a penny, in for a pound, I might as well just mention it now. So, that was me very obviously not having, rehearsed or even remotely thought about that, because if I'd put some thought into it, I'd probably be like, yes, he's gone mysteriously missing. But because I was on the spot, I was just like, nah, murder, straight up murdered. Just be nice and casual. Anyway, so
Can we go solve a murder?
Morgan has just received this letter. So what are y'all gonna do?
Well, I assume that we're all staying at the same sort of hotel, I think. So we're probably meeting up each day for breakfast or something. So I think I will
so.
just.
We have a little brunch club going.
I think the next morning after I receive this letter, I will just casually mention it. By the way, I wrote to that academic I mentioned to you. He's been murdered, apparently.
Murdered?
Oh, goodness.
That's what this letter says, and then I give them the letter they can have a look at if they like.
That's inconvenient.
It is inconvenient.
Is a little suspicious also, perhaps?
Yeah.
If there's weird dimension stuff going on and the person who's good at dimension stuff is purposefully killed.
I mean, it does say murder. It doesn't say anything about how he was murdered. I assume it wasn't... I don't know. I think we should go on a little trip up to Adavan Lovus.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been there before.
Should we
Guess another snow globe.
get in contact with... I can't remember their name. Let's say that's in character.
Bastet.
Our boss, you mean?
Yeah.
More like Bostet.
No.
That was Tozia. I said it in the voice.
Told you to tell her that to her face. That would be very funny.
Absolutely. I'll do my best. Ellie, have I gotten letters back from my dad or uncle?
I literally just remembered as you were talking. By this point, you have received 2 letters back. The letter from your father, I think, came probably a little bit more promptly. And it's really long, and it gives you like an update on like how your little brother is doing, and the affairs of the city, and like, you know, all about the kind of the goings on in your house, maybe some like gossip about, you know, everything that's happening in the rambling city of Gaelmarus. But the crux of it is essentially, you know, you asked him to do some research, and he said, oh, I've had a look through the library, and it seems like the best person to talk to is Dr. Marius Delaware.
Dang.
I hope this is useful, sweetheart.
He's a lovely man who never gets murdered.
Oh, and the second letter that you get back is from your uncle. It's much shorter. It's maybe like a paragraph long, thanking you for your continued dedication to the city of Gaelmarus and for your vigilance, and commending you on your hard work and how well you're doing in this new position. But it's quite to the point.
Yeah.
That's from your
Okay.
uncle.
I'll send a letter back to my dad with the snow globe as well for my brother and be like, thanks. He did die, but I'm just going to go check that out. I'll keep you updated.
Is that literally the language she's using?
It's basically like the fantasy version of that. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the research. He did get murdered, so I'm just going to go and investigate that. I'll keep you updated. I promise your research wasn't pointless, though. Thank you again. Here's a snow globe.
Aww.
That is quite sweet.
I can't wait to go visit Tojia's home, and she just has a huge wall full of snow globes.
It's not for her. It's for her brother.
Or her brother has a huge wall full
Yeah.
of snow globes.
I think that's really wholesome. I was like waiting for the moment that you used it like in combat or whatever, like you use some snow globe related shenanigans.
Ellie, it cost 3 gold.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
How much did we decide that was in real money terms?
I think it was like £10 per gold.
Jeez.
Which means
Oh,
that
God.
Delphi spent £150 on spicy vegetables.
You know it.
Have you ever had really good kimchi?
Oh,
Fair.
yes.
Yeah, not 150 pounds of it.
If you're stocking up on like fancy
Yeah.
spices and jars of sauces and pickled stuff, you could spend 150 quid on food, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could easily spend 150
Yeah.
quid on food.
If someone was like, oh, I'm
Easily.
going to spend a lot on food to stock up, and they spend 150 quid, I think that would be like...
I would hope it would be
Yeah.
a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
Delphi doesn't
like,
know
fancy.
when she's going to be able to get her food again, so
Yeah.
she's
You
got
say
to
it's
stock
a
up.
lot of food, but the only good type of decaffeinated instant coffee now costs £6.80 per pot.
I'm sorry. Why? What's the point of decaf coffee?
Because I don't drink tea.
Yeah, literally.
And hot chocolate is full of sugar, so decaf coffee is the only drink that isn't basically a pudding or full of caffeine that I can drink in the evening. I need something I can drink like 10 cups of a day without having a heart attack.
God, you're such a weird adult.
So it's decaf coffee or nothing.
Herbal teas are so nice, especially
Herbal
lemon.
tea.
Lemon and lemon. What's the one I have? Lemon and ginger. Very nice.
Hot squash.
Anyway,
Yes, hot squash. We are getting off
Let's
track.
go see Bastet.
Yeah.
Bustet.
Bustet.
Okay,
Hashtag girl boss.
so you head into the financial and government district of Catgirl City. Obviously, you're stationed not far from the building where Bastet works, and you, all with varying degrees of effort, climb up the cat towers to get to her office. You're told to wait like a moment, but as soon as she kind of registers that it's you, she waves you in. How can I help you?
Someone's been murdered.
Yeah.
Who? What?
sorry.
Morgan?
A specific person. I said I was going to do some research on the issue we were discussing previously.
Yes.
I wrote to the expert in such matters, and apparently he's been murdered. up in Adavan Lovus.
Are they sure it's murder?
Well, there was not much detail in the letter I received, but the word murder was used, yes.
Wow. Well, in that case, is he essential to understanding more about what's going on with all of this potential planar business?
I think so. I mean, beyond Morgan's own research, and she obviously is very capable, my father, who's the Lord of Knowledge for my city, he also came to the same conclusion.
I see.
I share the letter.
Right. Well, in that case, we should get you to Adavan Lovus in as fast as possible. Right. Okay. And she gets a piece of paper and she starts scribbling down an address. She says, okay, if you get to this location, it's close to the Sphinx, in about 30-45 minutes, you probably won't miss them. Are you familiar with the herds?
The what? No?
The
Sorry?
roaming herds.
Someone explain, please.
Look, no offense intended, but I think perhaps assuming that Raina and Delphi aren't familiar with something is just going to be the best course of action.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Understood.
Actually, I think I do know the herds. They're different words, but they're usually based west of here, right?
Yes, they're a nomadic group of halflings and gnomes. They...
Oh no, different people.
Oh my god, Delphi!
Who were you thinking of?
I give Delphi like a gentle pat on the shoulder.
That was both in and out of character.
Way! Yes. Sorry, getting back into the bastard headspace. The herds are, yes, a group of halflings and gnomes. They're nomadic and they tend to traverse between here and around Adavan Lovus pretty regularly. But they have mechanized horses, so they can travel 3 times faster than you could on foot or even by conventional horse, which I honestly don't know would necessarily work for some of you. So they're probably
Mechanized horses.
That's a good question. Can an elephant ride a horse? That's out of character, I'm saying this. I think that would be insensitive to say
Can an
in
elephant
character.
ride a horse?
Sorry, this is off topic, but I just had the thought. Do elephants exist in this universe?
Yes.
Because we have an elephant person, and we have cat people.
I think so. I think it's the same thing as like a monkey and
Yeah.
a human.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Because surely you've got
Sure.
cats.
Cats better exist.
You've got trees.
It'll be
So wait,
sad world of cats.
are you
to
suggesting
nonsense.
that cat people are hairless?
No lie, in
Absolutely
one of
not.
my long-term games, my friend plays a hairless tabaxi.
That's quite
fair.
cool, but all cat girls being hairless just makes me feel a little bit...
Okay, back in character. What were we saying?
Back into the zone. Yeah, they'll be your best bet. Raina, did you ask about mechanized horses? Was that where we were at?
At this point, I think she's kind of stopped going, please explain what? And just kind of to herself going, mechanized horses? What?
Yes, they
I think it's better that we see it. I think it's better for Raina that we just kind of like... You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
probably.
We only have half an hour. Let's just get going. You'll see.
yes.
I'm interested to see. Actually, I've never seen one of these horses.
Do you guys mind if we just go via the port?
No worries.
Yeah, if we have time.
You'll have time.
I need to go and
I'm sure we do.
quickly retrieve my supplies from the hotel, but I should be able to meet you all there, I suppose.
That sounds good. Raina, I'll come with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come as well. Something to do.
Cool. We'll head off to...
Did I give
The
y'all
port
a raven before? One of the
Yes.
carrier
Yes.
ravens from Bastet. Okay, cool. So you have one of those already.
Yeah.
Good.
Did she say she would give us one, or that one would appear to us when we needed it?
She said one would appear to us when we were needed.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had that whole conversation about how Raina and Delphi just don't understand the world.
In that case, Bastet turns and goes over to the covered up cage again and pulls out a second one and says, "Can I leave this with one of you in case you need to contact me for any reason?"
Of course.
That sounds good.
And looks,
I'm just gonna... I'll
Yeah.
take
Cool,
it.
she gives
yeah.
it to us.
Probably a good shout.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Give it to the most competent member
Yes.
of the party.
So you're heading past the port.
I want to, just as we're walking through, just like look at the ships and see if I can find the last one that I was on, which I have a list of them all. because I'm a nerd, and the last one was called
Oh
The
my
Ruby
God.
Wanderer.
The Ruby Wanderer.
Yeah, it would be quite old at this point. I guess if they have like a historic dockyard or
I
something.
was going to say, roll me, I guess, either history or investigation.
Can I give Raina the help action? By just, like, admiring the names of the ships and
Yes.
stuff.
Oh, I rolled worse. Never mind, you tried.
I did.
If it's investigation, because I'm good at that, a 19.
Hey! That's why I like giving people options. So with the 19, you see a sign that points towards a historic dockyard, and you go and check that out. Slap bang in the middle of it is the Ruby Wanderer, and it has a small plaque attached to it, similar to those National Heritage blue plaques that you get in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Like the one
Yeah.
that's stuck on Roald Dahl's house and that kind of thing. There's a small plaque attached to that, and it has the name, the Ruby Wanderer. It has the dates which she sailed, which is
Just go so many years ago. It's fine.
yes, so many years ago, and she continued to sail until about like 15 years after your disappearance, after which point she was sort of taken out of commission, and then just a sort of generic plaque about how she was used in scouting and in exploration as opposed to military usage.
I'll be like reading this very attentively.
Is that your boat?
Yeah, it was.
Would you like to go back to the house that you visited earlier?
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, to be perfectly honest.
Okay,
He's not very well.
I'm sorry. If you ever want to talk about, anything, you know.
Yeah, I probably should explain a bit to you all, but to be honest, I'm still trying to get it straight in my own head. So maybe when Morgan gets back.
We could talk about it on the ride.
Yeah, I'd like that. Thank you.
Give her another head pat.
Oh.
And then up to that point, she's like, "Oh, isn't this nice?" And then she gives you this little scowl.
Lol. I feel like poor Raina is experiencing for the first time the thing that all short people experience, which is just the head pats, and they're like, "Oh, you're so cute," and she's responding in typical short person fashion of being like, "No,"
Despite the fact that she's like
not short.
yeah. Anyway,
For a tabaxi, she's like slightly
Oh,
over
wow.
average height.
I'm excited for the tall girls to all hang out with a bunch
Yeah.
of gnomes and halflings.
oh
yeah.
god, oh
He's
no,
probably a full 3 times taller than some of them.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is what you find out is that Delphi is actually 3 halflings in a wood coat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That is a race you can play.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Actually?
I'm well aware.
But aren't we all like small for our communities and
Yeah,
I don't
then
think we are.
just taller than
Yeah.
your average species?
It's a bit more complicated with grow folk because they don't stop growing, so it's more just the age.
Let's go hang out with some halflings
Yeah.
and gnomes.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you're all meeting up by the Sphinx, which appears to be a sort of central, popular. It's kind of like the not the Statue of Liberty, because that's nowhere near like anywhere accessible in New York. So I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like Big Ben, I guess. It's just a landmark that is easy, I guess, to use as a.
Big Ben, if it was a cat.
Like Trafalgar Square.
Yes, that's a much better example, Am. Thank you. You can tell that I just.
oh, is it like Trafalgar Square where they're all riding cats instead of horses?
That's such a good idea, actually. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Yes, that's canon now. Yeah, so there's a couple of tours that Toz and Raina have been on, and then around the corner you can see a group of about 30 to 40 gnomes and halflings, and one of them stands with a small clipboard kind of slightly apart from the group.
Oh my goodness.
And she's talking to.
I like this one already.
Yeah, she's talking to like a sort of interested tabaxi quite animatedly as you...
This has cult vibes.
Lol. You can see that this group of halflings and gnomes all have like these mechanical horses, and they are kind of like similar to the carrier ravens. They're sort of automatons. You can kind of see their like wheels and spokes, but you can see that they are based off of different horse breeds in real life.
That's rad.
Yeah. Ellie's latent horse girl gene is showing.
Oh, ew, you were a horse girl?
This is the weird thing, is I have been horse riding once in my life, but there was this online game called Horse, except you spelt it HOWRSE, and for some reason I got so into it.
Oh my goodness, did you play that? I also used to play that. How come we never talked about that?
I've known you for like 10 years! That was
a French game they translated into English, which is why all the spellings were always so weird.
And it was called Horse spelt wrong.
It was called Harrows.
I was literally like, why?
Harrows.
I don't understand like what you were trying to achieve with spelling it that way, and now it makes sense. It's just spelled wrong.
No, I think they might have just like changed a letter.
But also, if it was spelt right, it would still be just Horse, the video game.
I don't think you can copyright a game called
Did you say
Horse.
this was French, so it's just cheval? That's just what the game is called?
No, the French version is just also called Horse, but with a W. I don't understand.
You could have like custom horse breeds where someone could like submit their own art for it, so you could have like unicorns and stuff.
Fan horse breeds.
Yeah. It was rad as hell. You could like change the coats, you could change the backgrounds, you could give them
Horse spelled with a W.
This is an unofficial sponsor for
I'm fairly sure it was not good.
Yes, okay. So, so they're all based on different breeds of horses.
I'd like to go talk to the girl with the clipboard.
Did we have a booking in advance, or do we need to book one now?
I think we had booking in advance.
We only found out about it half an hour ago.
If you give Bastat's name to her, you'll probably be fine.
Hello.
Hiya, how can I help you?
We have a friend who thinks we should travel with you guys, and I'm going to show her the badge and that they gave us and be like, so Bastet said we should come with you to city name, please, because Am has no memory.
Adavan Lovus.
You could call it Clockwork City as well.
We've been asked to travel to the Clockwork City on some official business, so Bastet said we should come with you.
Oh, of course. I'm Bree, by the way. What's your name?
My name's Tosia Avenue.
Raina Riftwood. Sorry, Toz.
Lovely. And your companions are?
Morgan, Raina, and Duffy.
She scribbles all these down on her clipboard, and she says, right, well, considering you're with Bastet, I think that pretty much gives you all access passes, so I'll go and get you some horses. She kind of looks over at all of you, or rather looks up at all of you, and kind of takes into consideration just like how tall you all are, and she just gets a little bit pale, and she's like, I'll just be 1 minute, and she goes over and speaks with a woman who's wearing like these kind of gold accents like on her clothes and in her hair, who's riding this beautiful like sleek, it looks like a kind of thoroughbred type deal if it was made of metal, and she kind of like looks up at you and trots over and is like, hi, nice to meet you, my name's Tamara, I'm the queen of the herd.
Raina bows.
Oh,
Morgan also does this.
I give her a little curtsy.
It's an absolutely impeccable curtsy. It's the most polite-looking, graceful curtsy you've ever seen.
The curtsiest curtsy.
And in contrast, Raina's literally just like drunken bow. She's not drunk, but that's just her vibe.
Delphi just copies whoever did the thing first, and is just like in the worst way possible.
I love the Chaos Twins of Delphi and Raina just trying to be nice.
Aww.
This is how society works.
People do this, yes?
Yes. Tamara, looks over at all of you, kind of, I guess, looks at Morgan and tracks the wings and says, look, obviously most of our horses are made for halfling and gnome size, and we also have a couple that are available for the slightly larger races, but a couple of you might need to have 2 horses and sort of
riding like a water ski.
1 foot on each horse.
It might be slightly uncomfortable, but I assure you still get the same quality of ride. Is that alright?
Carts exist, can I just say?
Do they? I'm guessing they have wagons. Ellie.
Carts, chariots.
Yeah, you know those exist.
Yes, fine.
Did you forget chariots exist, Ellie?
Did you forget that?
Shut up!
I think it's because the purpose of this trip is speed.
Yeah.
And a load-bearing horse is going to be, like, much, much slower.
They're going to be slower.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that they're supposed to be like a herd of like wild horses, so can like go up to really high speeds, except obviously mechanized, so they're even faster. But yeah, I think I feel like I was trying to do like too much big brain thinking and forgot about the like small brain thinking of like chariots exist.
Classic. I do that all the time.
They're probably very small, like just for like pulling supplies and stuff like that. And it's something that's probably not intended for a person, to be honest.
Definitely not a person the size of Delphi.
But we're gonna sit in one anyway.
Yes. So she says, she says, "Oh yes, I'd forgotten about those. Sorry, I'm still a little bit new to this, to be honest."
New? She's the queen!
Yeah, I got coronated like a month ago.
Crowned is also the verb there.
Congratulations. You know, being in a leadership position in a community is a very difficult thing to do, and I think we should respect that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Even if you do forget about Cut. To be fair, forgetting someone could ride on one is a fair bet.
Twas is going to take out her little notebook that she's keeping for like world-traveling notes and write down "never forget about chariots."
Love that. She's writing the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it's the Hitchhiker's Guide to this universe. I love that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and Tamara takes note of the tartan that you're wearing and is like, "Oh, are you an Atherdale?"
Yes, I am. He is my uncle. My father is, looks at notes.
Interesting name.
Do I have his name noted down?
Looks at notes. What's a strange name?
I do not have his name noted down. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, but my father...
Improv.
And my father is the Lord of Knowledge of the City as well. So I get it.
Oh, you know, I think I might have met you before at a ball or a social event or something, but only when you were very young.
Can I try and remember her with like a history check?
Yeah.
We had a kids table together.
I mean, gnomes live quite a while. Is she a gnome or is she a halfling? She's a gnome.
Sort of.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, she's a halfling and a gnome, half and half.
I got a 14 because I got a 10 out plus 4 history.
Nice. Sorry, I was just thinking that what is a halfling just called a half?
Half.
A half.
I think I'm funny.
Half.
You vaguely remember she wasn't at the kids' table because in terms of like gnome years.
Size of the table.
Yeah. Size of the table. Yeah, she probably got she because she was only like a princess at that point and not a queen, she probably got put at the kids' table by mistake. And you remember her looking incredibly bored and a little bit miffed. She kind of gives you slight Bastet vibes, but maybe a little bit more chill.
Okay.
But you do remember that it was like they had like sparklers and things, and you remember she like gave you a sparkler or something.
Aww.
And like showed you how to like wave it around like a wand.
That's so cute. I'm like, oh yes, of course I remember. That was some wedding that I cannot remember at all. It was good though. You were really nice to me.
Oh well, you're returning the favour right now. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm still learning a lot on the job, so apologies about the mistake there. I'll get you some cargo chariots.
Thank you very much.
For you. Right, yes. And this is Aquila, by the way, she says, patting her horse.
Raina eyes it like slightly suspiciously and is like terrified nod.
It kind of not bows its head, but it kind of does the little like thing. She says, like a true horse girl, the thing.
Do you mean the whinny?
It's a
Whinny?
Yeah.
or
like a snort.
Or snort.
Is it a whinny? No, it's not a whinny.
It's like a snort.
Yeah.
So you all get, I think, Toz and Delphi definitely get little mini chariots, and I think Raina and Morgan can probably manage on horses, on big horses.
Well, if they're here, like, doing business here, they presumably have tabaxi-sized horses.
That's true.
Yeah, they have, like, I feel like their max height is, like, probably for, like, a 6-foot person.
Also, like...
You must be this short to ride.
Yes! That's a little...
Must be this short, right? And it's like, Delphi's like, so much taller. Can we get away with it? Is it...
Well,
is
there's, you know, there's those, there's the... It's not just must be this tall to ride, it's like, there's, like, the maximum, there's, like, the minimum height, and then there's, like...
Maximum height, yeah.
This is the best height, you know, you're in the medium or the red zone, and there's just, like, you're so much taller than the sign that you're not even in the red zone, you're just, like, in the black.
like, oh, yeah. I've gone so tall, now it's fine to ride again.
Yeah. Raina and Morgan probably have individual horses.
Yeah.
Morgan?
Yeah?
How does one ride an horse? Do you know?
Is she wearing trousers or is she wearing a skirt?
She's wearing trousers.
You just sort of sit on it, one leg on either side and hold on. It's not hard.
Okay. I've never...
Morgan's riding side saddle, by the way.
Oh, hell yes.
Ugh, of course she is.
I bet she looks so graceful, and Raina's there trying to get up. Like,
Oh no.
I'll give you a boost.
I've never ridden an horse before.
I give her a boost onto the horse.
Thank you. Is this going to be any different from a normal horse?
I do not know.
Okay.
Have you ever ridden a normal horse?
No. I've seen them, but I've never ridden one. You don't really take horses out on the ocean because they're not very useful.
Oh no. Except for seahorses.
Just hold on, you'll be fine.
Okay.
I assume you won't need to tell this one what to do, so...
I'll try, thank you.
Morgan is, for the record, wearing trousers, but she's kind of wearing, like, what somebody who's always worn fancy dresses would wear when she thinks she's trying to be practical.
Oh no, she's the fantasy equivalent of rich kids in uni wearing tracksuits because they thought it made them look more, like, approachable and normal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But Ellie, that's not just a thing at uni, that's just a thing living in the south of England.
Oh.
She's wearing, like, I think I said this before, she's wearing rich people's idea of what practical clothing is.
Yeah.
Whereas Raina is wearing a poor person's idea of practical clothing, which is probably like an old sack.
Absolutely.
No, not quite that bad. She's wearing an actual shirt. But
Actual practical clothing.
actual practical clothing, yes.
Whereas, like, Morgan's idea of that is to not wear her fanciest waistcoat.
Sailor's gear, so like...
So, as you're all figuring out how to get into your respective horses and carriages, you hear Tamara, who's now, like, gone back to the head of the group, gives a sort of whistle, and the horses, like, without your command or anything, start to move into position, and you realise, because you're kind of, like, important guests, you have all been moved next to Tamara and to the girl that Toz spoke to, Bree, who's kind of like just like stood a little bit behind you. Tamara gives a second whistle. The horses all set off and they sort of start at a light kind of canter as you move through the city, because obviously they've got to contend with the other traffic in the thoroughfare. But as you head out of the city and start heading north, they pick up speed, and it's a little bit like suddenly going from like 30 miles an hour in a car to 60 miles an hour in a car. You're suddenly like, I guess, not like thrown back, but you're bracing yourself against the G-force, and then Bree whistles a small tune. You're still travelling at the same speed, but you no longer feel the like wind like buffeting your hair and or twigs or whatever. It's like you've been encased in a sort of bubble of like...
Oh, is Bree a bard?
It's like it's suddenly like you're inside a car, you know, you've been encased inside an effect that mitigates the external elements.
That's awesome. So we can kind of talk freely.
Oh, Bree is a bard.
Yes,
Lovely.
so you can, so it's not like you're like yelling at each other on a roller coaster.
So we can kind of like talk freely without like noise. Okay.
So, tell us about that really emotional thing you wanted to talk about.
What? I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, there's none of that. You're all going along at probably like 60 or 70 miles an hour.
Raina did figure out how to hold on, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you don't need to.
Like a car.
It's not like magnets, it's like almost like the horse wants you to stay in place, and so you stay in place.
This is weird.
So, Morgan, Raina wanted to have a little chat about some stuff. Raina?
Oh, I don't really know where to start. Well, you know, like, you were trying to explain everything that happened to me and Delphi, and like, this thing, and she gives another terrified look down at the horse, and stuff like that. Well, and you know, I said I'd gone away. Well, I fell in an hole.
As you do.
As you do. Well, I was trying to get. There was like a bit of. They were covered in pink crystals, and I was trying to get a bit of a crystal, like to bring back to the ship. And I fell in.
Oh.
And then I don't really know what happened after that, because it's all a bit fuzzy. And then I ended up on a beach, and I came back here, and everything was different. Well, what I'm trying to say is, I went to see Captain Sterling, my old captain from my sailing days, and well, he's he was an old man, and I remembered him being not much older than myself, and he had a grandson, and his grandson told me that it'd been 70 years since I disappeared.
Oh.
But I haven't aged at all, so I don't know what's going on there. And I thought it might make some more sense to you guys. And I mean, Morgan, you're a time wizard, right?
Yes.
You ever heard anything like this before?
Slowing down of aging. It's not. Not to this scale. I haven't heard. Was it a person who did this, or was it some sort of natural effect? Do you know?
I don't know. I fell in a hole, and I can kind of remember bits and pieces. Like it was like a completely different place. Lots of trees, I think, and it seemed very different. But I can't remember what actually happened, and you know, like when you feel like you've had a really, really long day, or a series of really, really long days, but then after the weeks happen, you're like, wow, that week was really quick.
Yes.
That's exactly how it felt, both long and short.
Yes, no, absolutely.
But apparently it was very long.
That's... Now is not the time, but perhaps later on, once we've figured out this issue, I could see if we can find something out for you. Do you know where the place was? The island?
If you found some sea charts, I could probably point it out.
Yeah, we should... We'll
I could probably ask my uncle to help us charter a ship.
I can perhaps do some inquiries about this once we get to Adavan Lovus as well, if they have a library there.
I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll see. We'll figure that out. That's frankly bizarre, but
see, it's all good.
I like your confidence.
Well, I'm very good at wizardry.
I mean, you know what could happen? A displacer beast appears from nowhere and attacks us.
Well, yeah. I don't really want to revisit that, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, that could happen anywhere, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Live every day like a displacer beast is going to appear and attack you.
I'm not sure that's a particularly fun way to live, but okay.
Limiting.
I just love that Toz is like
metaphor.
The most normal person, and everything she says, everyone's like, but, and then she just goes, for goodness sake, guys, it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
Ellie, I wanted to ask you a few questions about the hut, if that's okay, before we...
Yes, absolutely. Can you ask them in character, either to Tamara or to Bree, unless you think that Toz would know the stuff already?
There's one question that I won't ask in character, which is like, I know you said Tamara was like gnome age, so like equivalent, like what would be like her human age equivalent?
I feel like gnomes. This is the problem with smooshing together different races, is that they reach maturity at different stages. So she's half halfling, half gnome. Almost all of them are, because from our world building session, this is the group that Iraine made a drought in the city of Crawlish, where the halflings and the gnomes.
That's Iraine the god, right?
Yes, my god did that.
Iraine made a drought in this area with the gnomes and the halflings, and so they had to work together. Then Praetor, the god of travellers, came to visit them and gave them basically like knowledge about being nomadic, and they became nomadic and now have been living together for such a long time, that for long enough that halflings and gnomes, they're basically one race now.
Yeah, they're basically one race.
Kind of like with the Liberal Democrats, they used to be separate.
Yes.
Ellie, I think you just said halflings and homes.
Wait, what?
I think you said halflings and homes, and it just made me chuckle.
Oh no! Halflings and gnomes.
Oh my god.
Gnome.
They're called homes.
Gnome.
If she's like 60, then that makes her like human 18.
Oh, she's young then.
Oh, she's young.
So she's like just been coronated.
Crowned.
Oh, wow.
Coronated? Is that a word?
Crowned.
Thank you. It's like, what's the word for
Okay.
Coronated, marinated.
No, in this universe, they get coronated.
That's another classic Ellie thing of forgetting the simple word.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like chlorinated.
Toz is 19, so that makes me feel a bit better about the second in question character, which is going to kind of go to Bree and be like, so, what's like Tamara's deal?
I don't follow. What do you mean?
Does she have a betrothed from another kingdom? What's going on there?
Oh, right. Not that I'm aware of. No, she's always been pretty focused on the job. I think she's been pretty nervous about it, to be honest. It's I'm sorry, this Welsh accent is appalling.
Ellie, you're Welsh.
You call yourself Welsh?
You are Welsh.
You're Welsh.
We're not that type of Welsh.
Yeah, but none of us have a Welsh accent, and we're all with.
No, none of us have. It's because I've spent all of like last week being like proper South Wales Valleys mining accent, and I'm very familiar with it now because I've been writing it for verbatim theatre. So I'm really, really comfortable with that accent now. But like just sort of soft Welsh, I'm like, what am I doing?
I wanted to get back to the bit where
she
is
seems...
Tosia 19, you said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how old is Delphi?
Delphi's 45, but it works out to be like 24.
Oh, thank God.
yeah, it's a very different timescale.
Okay. Because I just suddenly... Because Morgan's about like 25. She's like junior academic age.
If it makes you feel any better, Raina is 19, but you could argue she's 89.
Oh my god. Huh. I was going to say that Delphi's the oldest one, but not by a long way.
Bree says, yeah, I think honestly she's always been worried about, not always, but recently been worried about this job, mostly because, well, you know, it's a lot of responsibility. She's very young. I mean, so are you. Yeah, I mean, are you? What are you getting at? Are you?
I mean, I'm in a similar position to her. You know, in that sort of intimidating by a responsibility that a lot of people expect you to take on. I just think it's nice that someone else understands, and I thought we could talk about it more, that's all.
Oh,
of course, she says, and gives you, like, the cheekiest wink.
Like, bright red. Just sort of, she curls up her trunk and covers her eyes.
Oh, this is so sweet, by the way.
Oz has a little crush.
This is wholesome as hell. This is VV wholesome.
Also, the height difference would be so funny.
Oh, yes!
The biggest height difference
Very
in the
cute.
world.
Not even like a stool, like a step ladder. Like...
Yes.
Let the ships begin.
She just thinks it's nice that someone else would understand.
Yeah. Okay, so you travel along a busy merchant road, obviously speeding past all of the other people on the road. The climate growing greener and muggier the further north you go. The scenery is pretty monotonous for the most part, until an imposing and impossibly hostile-looking forest looms into view on your left. Delphi, this is your home, Kalrati, in the spicy forest.
Ooh.
Aces is Anne Chisholm, Chloe Elliott, Eiriol Evans, Katie McLeod, and me, Ellie Webster. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Deck of Many Aces, and tweet at us with the hashtag DOMA, that's DOMA. If you like the music of the show, then check out the original soundtrack on Chloe's SoundCloud, link in the description. And if you want to hear more of Anne, head on over to A Rendezvous with Destiny, which is a Scion actual play podcast that she helps to create. Their first episode of the Call of Cthulhu one-shot is out, and I'm in it, so check it out. It's a lot of chaotic energy. It's 18 plus, so do be warned, but it's a lot of fun, and terrible accents galore, shenanigans, horrible eldritchy-esque beings, everything, you name it, we've got it. It's Arrow Week! Very exciting! Happy Arrow Week, everybody. I hope that you're all having a lovely, lovely time. As always, I have links in the description for anybody who is interested in the aromantic spectrum. If you think that you might be aromantic, or if you have a friend or family member who's on the arrow spectrum and you just want to be cool and supportive. We'll be interacting a lot on Twitter this week, especially just liking and sharing lots of content and information just to spread awareness and spread some love and joy, because we are an arrow podcast as well as an ace podcast. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode. All of the whistling is credit to Katie, by the way, for being able to do the whistly noise, which I can't do with my mouth. If you really enjoy our content, then please subscribe, like, rate and review, follow us on social media, and if you want to go that little bit extra, then we have a supporter Acast page. If you go to supporter.acast.com/deck of many aces with dashes between the words, you will be able to find a donation portal. The minimum I think is £3. All of the proceeds go towards the show and funding for things like a web domain and merch and all sorts of other things. It would be awesome if you were able to do that, but you are not obligated to at all. This is a free podcast, always has been, always will be. We appreciate your support however you choose to show it, and we're really, really grateful. Next episode is out on March the 5th, which is terrifying. Let's not think about that. But that will be episode 10, which is very exciting. I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely Arrow week, and we will see you next time. Bye!